worked on organic farms in the Williams Valley, and also me and my family started a small farm, market farm, and we did mostly raising produce. We also milk goats and try to provide a small-scale market for our goods. So we started doing that, and went kind of broke pretty quick, you know, after a year or two. Realized that we jumped into it, didn't quite make as much money as we thought. So all of a sudden, you know, after a year or two of really making it on my own, I realized farming's great, but at the same time, need to pay the bills. I got kids, so worked for other. So I've always worked for other farmers while I farmed at home. Let's just put it that way. So. You know, in farming, you can learn a lot about everything. You know, as far as like, you know, water conservation, you know, how to treat the soil, how to just treat the planet, really. So, you know, it felt really good for me, and it felt like there was a huge learning curve for me because I didn't grow up on a farm. I grew up in an urban environment, so there just seemed to be endless amount of opportunity there too. But for me, I liked being in my early 20s. I liked the physical part of it, and I liked to be outside. I've never had a indoor desk job, and I don't know if I ever will, really. Every season's a new opportunity, you know, so that's another really draw for me is the season-to-season learning experience, because I like to, maybe that's just my typical personality too, but there's so many careers and jobs out there, in my personal point of view, that would be difficult to keep me, you know, enthusiastic about compared to farming, you know, because farming really, there's so much to take away from each experience. Well, yeah, we definitely don't take extravagant vacations or drive fancy cars. So if you talk about any of those things, we don't do any of those. You know, one thing that limited by, and probably anybody starting off in business on their own, whether it's farming or anything, is going to have to start off small, and you know, we made compromises on that, but the one big compromise for us is time. You know, vegetables will keep us pretty bogged down, but we've also done dairy, which you know, that requires milking twice a day at the same time every day. So it doesn't matter if you're out on an important dinner date, or it's your anniversary, or something like that. If the goats need to be milked, or the chickens need to be put away, or the water needs to be turned on, then you're dealing with, you know, all these living organisms. So that's a big commitment that I find is probably the biggest challenge for most people that really want to farm but have a hard time figuring it out. Is it really, you know, letting go of a lot of those commitments of time and being focused on being able to do it successfully. So. You know, it really, it's like asking a bee why they wouldn't make honey. You know, it really is a natural thing to do. You know, this is where I feel like we belong. You know, it's really, it's as close as you can get to, you know, being able to grow your own food, work the soil. I really feel like every person, it doesn't matter what you go on to be, you want to be a banker or someone else, but I think everybody should at least learn a little bit about at least how to grow their own food, because it really brings home, you know, it puts you right into your natural environment, I think, is, you know, where we've kind of strayed from. But, you know, for me, it feels just right to be, you know, in the field, you know, growing plants. And so I think that'll probably sustain me through years. I can't imagine doing anything else at this point in my life. I don't know, you know.